Happening now, the latest efforts to help those possibly exposed to hepatitis after eating at a Chautauqua County restaurant this month. Plus, what a new poll has to say about Governor Andrew Cuomo's favorability rating.
Well, we do need some rain, and we're going to get a little bit of it tomorrow and Wednesday. And Wednesday could be some stronger storms. We'll time it out next as the news at noon starts now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
To combat the recent hepatitis A outbreak at a local restaurant, Chautauqua County health officials are hosting 2 vaccination clinics this week. Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. If you were exposed to the virus at the Mustard Seed in Fredonia between May 8th and 19th, you may have you are encouraged to attend a clinic. Now, though county officials say exposure may have begun as early as April 1st, the health department is emphasizing that the hepatitis vaccine clinics will only prevent infection from those exposed May 8th or later. The first clinic will be held tomorrow at the Cassadaga Valley School bus garage from 4:30 until 6:30. The second will be held inside the Steel Hall at Fredonia's campus from 3 until 7 on Friday. Though you do not need an appointment, pre-registration is required. You can do that online at chqgov.com. Well, we are more than a year into the COVID-19 pandemic, and many are still asking, how did COVID start? Well, now there's new information on researchers at a lab in Wuhan, China, who got sick before the first reported case of the virus. As Britt Conway reports, these new details could add weight to the push for a more thorough investigation into its origins.
Wuhan, China, where the first known cases of COVID-19 were reported in December 2019. In March, the World Health Organization released a 120-page report outlining 4 theories on its origin. A very likely scenario, the virus spread to humans through an animal like a bat or pangolin. Extremely unlikely, a lab leak. But now we're getting new information about researchers at one of China's labs, the Wuhan Institute of Virology. 2 people briefed on a U.S. intelligence report say the report found 3 researchers from the lab got sick in November 2019 and had to be hospitalized. A State Department fact sheet from January only said it was several researchers in autumn 2019 with symptoms consistent with both COVID-19 and common seasonal illnesses. The director of Wuhan National Biosafety Lab responded, telling state media Global Times the report is, quote, a complete lie and, quote, those claims are groundless. This new information adds to growing concern over the need for a more in-depth probe into where COVID-19 started, pointing to a lack of transparency in the WHO's process.
I think that we should continue to investigate what went on in China until we find out, to the best of our ability, exactly what happened.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Britt, thank you. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky says the WHO is moving forward with a second phase of its report, but made it clear she'd like to see more transparency in this next phase. Not 1, not 2, but 3 new businesses opened in Frewsburg this weekend in what local leaders are hailing an economic rebirth following the pandemic shutdown. The Cozy Cuckoo Nest, New to You, and a new ice cream shop, all located along East Main Street, cut the ribbon to their respective storefronts on Saturday morning. The push in Frewsburg is to bring new life, or at least that's the plan of Town of Carroll Supervisor Russell Payne.
We want to revitalize Main Street. We want to work on the facades of the different businesses. Through grant money or CDBG block grant money, that kind of thing, attract new businesses.
Now, Payne says anyone who's interested in considering moving their business to the small town is more than welcome to contact him for a private tour. So far, many of the new operations who are open for business say they have received good feedback from the local community. Well, a Jamestown police officer is receiving praise for her efforts to save baby ducklings from a storm drain over the weekend. Take a look. In a post on social media yesterday morning, the department shared photos of the unusual rescue. Officers were called to Hazeltine Avenue near Purcell Middle School just after 7 in the morning for a report of a baby ducklings that fell through a rain gate. That's when Officer Carlson came to the rescue, climbing down into that storm drain and safely scooping up those babies. The two little ducklings were eventually reunited with their mama, who continued on their morning stroll around the community. Wow, and she is getting so much feedback online for that. We thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments down below. We always love to hear from you. It's great to see Sandy. Good afternoon to Mike. Great to see Joseph, Renee, and Connie as well. Hopefully you all are having a beautiful Monday out there, and it really is shaping up to be a pretty nice day. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joins us live now in studio with a first look at that forecast. And Dakota, minus a few clouds Sunday, it was a great weekend all around.
Yes, it was. I mean, it was a pretty nice weekend. I mean, I got out on Saturday, hit the links a little bit, and Sunday was just a nice day to relax because, you know, walking the golf course, that's my exercise for the year. Live look from Findlay Lake, 69 degrees right now with a northwest wind of 4, lots of clouds around. And in terms of the pollens, yeah, we're still dealing with that tree pollen, still up in the high category, but the grasses is also spiked up to the moderate category now. Have you noticed people mowing their lawns now? That's throwing the grass pollen all over the place. So I feel you. I have terrible allergies, so if you're in that same boat, I feel you. We're suffering together. Satellite and radar composite shows you those clouds that are moving through the southern tier right now, and it's going to remain mainly dry through the day today. That's the good news, so expect sun and clouds through the afternoon today. 78 was the high for Sunday. We started the day at 53, 89, and 29 are the record highs and lows for this day. So through the afternoon, partly to mostly sunny, an overall nice late spring day. Lighter winds than what we had over the weekend, 71 on the hills to 77 near the lower elevations, with a northwest wind averaging 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, tomorrow we see a few scattered showers. Then on Wednesday, could see a couple stronger storms. We'll time it out with Future Scan and that 7-day forecast later in the show. Justin?
All right, Dakota, we'll be keeping our eyes to that forecast coming up in about 10 to 12 minutes time. Thank you. Well, a new poll claims that New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's favorability rating and re-election potential is starting to edge up. It's the latest poll released by Siena College, where voters now say Cuomo should not resign by a 49 to 41% margin. That's compared to 51 to 37% majority who said he should not resign last month. Now, in a generic Democrat versus Republican 2022 gubernatorial matchup, the poll found that a Democrat governor leads 55 to 29. When asked Cuomo over a Republican, voters in New York sided with Cuomo 48%. Cuomo's favorability rating is also up from last month. His job performance rating went down, however. Overall, 37% of people polled say they are prepared to re-elect Cuomo if he runs next year. Well, State Senator George Borrello is firing back after Governor Andrew Cuomo last week called the reporter's question stupid and offensive that addressed criticism of his more than $5 million book deal. Borrello telling WNY News Now that Cuomo's deal was reached in an effort to mask the outcome of his nursing home policies in relation to the pandemic.
The governor has to explain to us why, in the middle of a pandemic, that he was manipulating and covering up the nursing home death data while he was signing a $5 million contract for a book deal. This is a huge ethics issue. I can't accept a $16 hamburger for someone. That's an ethics violation. But he can get $5 million for a book deal, and that's not a problem. Look, and by the way, that's 5 million reasons for him to cover up what the scandal that happened in nursing homes.
The Irving Republican says that there is legislation that's currently in both the state Senate and Assembly that would prohibit an elected official from publishing a book while in office. Next here, a lot more to tell you about the call from some to keep New York's alcohol to go policy. And later, hear about the push for a new exhibit at the Fenton History Center that's looking to connect those with history from under the earth. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Honest John's has what you're looking for. When you want it good, we're gonna give you lots more.
From freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has what you're looking for. And now 2 great locations, East 2nd Street and Fairmount Avenue. Order takeout or delivery today, online at honestjohns.pizza.
You're gonna get it good at Honest John's.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
Have the best summer ever with endless adventures at Girl Scout Summer Camp. Financial aid available, open to all girls. For more information, call or go to gswny.org.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
A new survey from the New York Restaurant Association found the pandemic-initiated alcohol takeout and delivery rule is favored by most New Yorkers. Many of those who were polled, the association says, want that rule to stay even after the pandemic's over. Already extended numerous times, the rule's currently set to expire June 5th. The poll was conducted statewide and took place between May 14th and May 20th. For an industry hit so hard by the pandemic, the leaders with the State Restaurant Association say that stability is needed, and this rule becoming permanent will help aid the industry's recovery. Well, New York State Attorney General Letitia James has announced new reform legislation meant to amend the state's law on police use of force. The legislation is called the Police Accountability Act. If passed, it would amend the standing laws and mandate officers only use force after all other alternatives have been exhausted. The new legislation would establish criminal penalties for officers who use force that is grossly in excess of what is warranted in a civilian interaction, according to James. James compared the measure to the federal level where George Floyd's Justice in Policing Act. She says her goal is to make sure that under the law, lethal force is that last resort.
In New York, it is exceedingly difficult to prosecute police officers who kill civilians because of an expansive justification law that gives officers extraordinary wide latitude to use force, diminishing prosecutors' ability to hold police accountable, even when officers may be at fault or when the death was not necessary.
The bill has been introduced in the New York State Senate and is expected to be introduced in the Assembly. Well, last week, the House of Representatives advanced a bill to start an independent commission to probe the January 6th siege on the U.S. Capitol. But as John Lawrence reports, that legislation is facing an uncertain fate as it heads into the U.S. Senate.
More than 4 months after the riot at the U.S. Capitol, Senate Republicans are likely to block a bipartisan probe into the attack.
I've actually opposed the idea of a commission from the very first, because I think we'll start waiting for a commission rather than moving forward with what we know we need to do now.
35 House Republicans voted in favor of an investigation into the siege. For it to pass the Senate, at least 10 GOP senators would have to join with all 50 of their Democratic colleagues.
We need to get to the bottom of it. It's not partisan. It's to find out how this could have happened in the United States of America, where we came so close to losing our capital.
To say that this wasn't one of America's most shameful days as Confederate flags and anti-Semitic slogans were waved triumphantly in our most sacred civic space is, to me, outrageous and unacceptable.
Some Republicans, like Representative Peter Mayer, fear shooting down this legislation will give House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats an advantage.
She doesn't want a commission that has a mandate to end by December 31st, 2021. She wants a commission that she can drag out into 2024, and that's what we're handing her.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
John, thank you. More than 400 people have been charged by the Justice Department for their actions in the riot to date. Well, get ready to celebrate the brother in your life because it's National Brothers Day. It's a time to get together and reminisce with the special men in your life, whether related or not. Founded by C. Daniel Rhodes of Alabama, Brothers Day brings together all the brothers from another mother and siblings alike. Brothers fight and are keen on mischief, but in the end, they'll always have your back. Certainly, I can attest as an eldest brother. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments down below. I know, Dakota, we talk about your brother quite a bit because he's always sending us great news from the community, running his local Boy Scout group. And I imagine you must be a pretty proud brother of him for giving back in that way.
Well, I mean, I talk about this sometimes. It's very interesting because my brother is 15 years older than I am.
Yeah, there's that age gap, really.
And technically he's my half-brother, but my dad doesn't believe in the whole half-brother things. He's my brother.
Your family.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think as a child it was very hard for us to have, the brotherly bonding time because we're two different people. Right. And by the time I was older. And then by the time I was 8, right, I think he already had made me an uncle at that point. So it's it was very hard for us to actually bond, but now as adults it's hey, I don't mind going over to his house and having a drink or something.
I don't have any brothers per se. I'm an older brother. I have one sibling. And, I think there was always that level of protection, yet my younger sister could always kick my butt no matter what. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't too worried about that because she could fight her way if she needs to. But I look to others in my family, especially on the Brothers' Day when you're talking about it, where my stepfather, he comes from a family of 4 boys. And I think he was supposed to be a girl if you would have talked to his parents. But at the end of the day, right, they're so connected and they care about each other. And I think it's very interesting. His oldest brother, he's the youngest, I think is one of the closest to him. And it's such an amazing relationship to have because at the end of the day, family's what you got, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't always agree with your family, but they are your family. And I'm blessed to really be a part of that. It's great to see Tom. Good to see Rod. Happy Monday to you, sir. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's great to see Joanna as well. Hopefully you all are having a wonderful day. We appreciate you. And this week, I know, Dakota, we were kind of talking about this, that it really has been summertime out there. Mm-hmm. And with summertime, especially yesterday, we had that threat for thunderstorms, but I know they pulled away into the afternoon. but still windy nevertheless.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was windy through the day yesterday. Let's take a look at the peak wind gusts through the day yesterday at the two airport locations here. 23 at the Dunkirk Airport, only 18 at the Jamestown Airport. And yeah, I mean, the winds probably did feel a little bit stronger than that, but hey, at least we didn't have wind gusts over 30, 40 miles an hour causing us any bit of a problem. And, you know, this is something that we've been talking about last week. We need the rainfall here. 6.17 inches is the seasonal rainfall total since the beginning of March. That's almost a 4-inch deficit to where we should be for this date. Now, the good news is we will get some scattered rain showers tomorrow, along with a couple rumbles of thunder in the afternoon, and that'll continue into Wednesday. Cloud cover downtown right now from atop of the Doubletree Hotel. Right now, we're at 68 degrees, got a southwest wind of 5, and the humidity has spiked up a little bit. 55 degrees is the dew point, and again, the closer the dew point and the air temperature are, the more humid it is, and we still have a feels like temperature of 68 degrees, so that's not too bad. All right, now getting into Wednesday, we do have a low-end threat for maybe some stronger storms in the afternoon. NOAA Storm Prediction Center has us under a marginal risk. That's a level 1 on a scale of 1 to 5 for all of Western New York and Northwestern Pennsylvania. And even though it's a low-end risk, there will be a chance for some storms in the afternoon that could be a bit stronger here. And the main threat here is mainly going to be strong wind gusts and maybe some large hail at times here. Tornado threat is extremely low with this, so I don't expect this to be a thunderstorm event. Nothing showing up on First Defense Doppler radar, giving us nice and clear sweeps. But here's what's going on here. We still have this stationary front that really hasn't budged over the past. There goes my clicker. And I didn't break it. That's good, because these things are expensive. So anyway, we still have the stationary front. There's one for the blooper reel. You know, Justin, in all the 4 years I have been here, I don't think I have ever once dropped my clicker on the air.
Not till today.
Not till today.
And look at you, a professional. You just keep going.
I know.
Just like,
I am the atom professional. High pressure ridge to our east and south, and that's keeping us dry.
Where's the hook?
Yes.
Let's get that hook out here.
Get that what?
The hook.
The
you
hook?
know the old cartoony hooks
yeah.
where they...
So here's Future Scan for you. You'll see that clouds and sunshine continue through the day if we can pick up with the weather segment here, but you'll notice a few green blobs popping up here today. That's not going to happen. It should stay mainly dry tonight, partly to mostly cloudy tonight. Now, as we get into tomorrow, we'll see the development of a couple scattered showers and thunderstorms through the afternoon hours. The best chance for any thunderstorm activity will likely between 1 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then that clears out. Now, Future Scan can only go out so far, but you'll see the presence of a few scattered showers moving our way through Wednesday, and of course, we'll keep an eye on those storms should they become strong to severe. So the inland areas today, yeah, likely lower to mid 70s will do it. Look for the sunshine behind some cloud cover. Now, after all the tomfoolery, the next 7 days of your life. 85 tomorrow. It turns much more humid as well. 79 Wednesday, we'll watch for some stronger storms in the afternoon. Cooler Thursday, sun is back, 71. And then look at that, we're down to 60 on Friday, a few rain showers, and then the sun returns on Sunday, coincidentally. We'll be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
It's not just what we say, it's what we do.
Local first. It isn't just our slogan. It's our mindset every single day. So whether you're watching our daily live streams or staying up to date with reports on our website and mobile app, you'll always see the same attention to detail from reporters who passionately care about our community, who have one goal in mind: to always put the facts first.
For me, it's more than just getting the forecast right. What I love the most about my job is that I come into work every day to help break down the weather, letting people know how this is going to impact their day. We take pride that First Defense Weather is the only local weather team in the Southern Tier. We don't just copy and paste our weather from outside sources. Every part of our forecast is handmade right here in-house. something our team really takes pride in.
What matters to you matters to us. Every story, every day. WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights.
Vests.
Please, give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over. When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger.
This danger is real.
Do your part.
Please,
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. Finally here today, a local history museum in Jamestown is working on expanding its virtual experience to include history below the earth. In an expansion to their already ongoing QR code initiative, historians with the Fenton History Center are planning a new virtual exhibit to tie into their archaeological dig of the center's grounds. Now, over the last decade, Noah Goodling, the museum's executive director, explains that his staff and volunteers have successfully recovered artifacts of the property's past. Specifically, Goodling says remnants of the carriage house that was demolished in 1919 were discovered during the expedition. He says because they cannot display thousands of artifacts all at once or keep the ground dug up for the public to view, the QR codes are the next best thing.
The signs will only be a small bit of the story. The QR codes will give us an unlimited amount of space to explore that story, give access to the artifacts, give access to the expertise and the people that were involved with it.
Now, there is not a fixed date for that installation yet. However, Goodling hopes to have the new feature in place before the snow falls. We'll certainly keep you updated. Pretty awesome to see. They got so many improvements, and I think that's the good thing about COVID, Dakota, because I think it's, what is it, a couple of weeks ago we were talking about how the Fenton and the Marvin House won an award and recognition from the county because they put together these QR codes to really continue to keep people connected in a world where maybe they can't be face to face. Because you think about some of the historical structures, a lot of those rooms, they have grand rooms, but say you're checking out the servants' quarter or the kitchen, a lot of those are very small, tight-knit areas. And I think the QR codes are great because you can simply scan your phone, get a pic, and even have a video to learn more.
Well, I mean, I guess if we're going to give credit where credit is due, can't we thank the Comedy Center? Because isn't their idea with the wristbands almost the same sort of concept?
Yeah, I think
so.
so.
It's like maybe we could credit them as being like the pioneers of bringing that
technology
here pre-pandemic.
Yeah, and the Comedy Center, I mean, they use a lot of technology. I mean, it's very immersive. And when you think of history, a lot of times you don't always think of technology, right? You're looking at the old technology.
You think of the old stone and tablets like what we used to write the forecast in back when I first started.
Right, back in the Civil War when you were tracking the storms.
We didn't have the green wall. We didn't have all these fancy computers. We just had a stone and tablet.
It's crazy that that's when weather dates back
hieroglyphics.
to, though. I mean, it goes so far back where people were just looking up and experiencing the world around them. Yeah.
In the old days, that's how they used to forecast the weather back in the olden days, is by using sundials.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. So I can't wait to see that come together. And Noah and his crew, they do a great job down there at Fenton. So we appreciate them sharing that with us. Well, one thing that we're really good at sharing is the weather forecast. And the forecast for the next couple of days, Dakota, I know summer seems to be here, but I'm kind of previewing your next graphic in my preview monitor, and it looks like I see some rain.
Yes, let's take a look at the day planner for tomorrow. We'll start the day dry around 63 at 7 o'clock noontime. By the time we come on the air at this time tomorrow afternoon, there could be a couple rumbles of thunder around 79, and the humidity will increase as well. So that 84, 85 degree high tomorrow is going to feel a little bit warmer and stickier. And for those who might be wondering, the weather clicker is A-OK.
All right.
It's fine.
She's okay.
Yes.
Good.
It's good because these things are really expensive.
It wasn't a good day. Right before the show, Dakota accidentally bumped into that big monitor that he has in the interview set. It's okay.
I'm just
buddy.
a mess.
There's always tomorrow. We can get through Monday. It's halfway
that's
through.
True.
Right?
I want to go home for the weekend. See you tomorrow.
All right, thank you. Well, that's going to do it for us today. News 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app. You can download it for free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Simply search WNY News Now. We'll leave you with this live shot over downtown Jamestown. Dakota and I are back tomorrow live here at noon. Hope to see you then.